Tana, did you hear about the new Paisanos deal? More pizza, less dough. Medium, one topping, $5.99. Are you out of your mind?
I'm gonna order it right now, buddy. What's the code?
Yes, $5.99 pizza. Hurry up, man. Press send. I'm hungry.
I'm on it, buddy. I'm
Yes. Coming up on the Santana Moss Show podcast, we'll let you know how Tana celebrated America.
And we want to know which cornerback's going to step up in that Redskins cornerback room. I got one in mind.
By the way, Tana, your boy LeBron has a new rival in La La Land.
Damn, it feels good to be on top. Our USA women brought home the gold.
I tell you who's not on top, Tana, and I'm giving him the taking L's. He was dressed like a damn kangaroo at the Espys. More on that later. The Santana Moss Show podcast starts right now.
It's a Santana Moss Show. Number 89, hustle all the time. Travis on the right, hot mic on the left. Every single week, it's a lyrical fact.
Now I'm ready to go. Oh, so you back, huh? You tired of the greatest hits, huh? You want a new episode, huh? Travis Thomas, Santana Moss, welcome into the Santana Moss Show podcast. Travis Thomas in studio, drinking Tito's in honor of my boy who's not here at the moment, but he is. Where are you? Where are you?
I'm in Orlando.
I can't keep track.
Don't name me, ask me why or how, but I'm here, man. You know, I had to come support my seed. You know how we do it. You always ask me, what have I done? Where am I at?
Right.
I've been everywhere. If you want to start off from there, we're going to start off how we normally do it. This past, 4th of July, I was in Middletown, Virginia. Again, the second year, I was a Grand Marshal again. This time we had the likes of Ryan Anderson, Sean Dion, Hamilton, and the Redskins MVP, Super Bowl MVP, Mark Mosley.
Wow.
We got a chance to ride in the car together and chop it up. But it was a great event. This time it didn't rain. It rained earlier, but we was able to still get the job done. Last year, you remember I told you it rained the whole entire parade. This year it rained in the stop, so we had a good time. Chopped it up. I told you when I came back, I never knew that Mark Mosley was one of the owners of Five Guys. So I love rubbing elbows, man. So just getting a chance to talk to him about his business. He said he's going to be a guest on the show, so I'm looking forward to that. And starting this week off, Monday on the 8th, July 8th, my Moss Academy football camp just started for the summer. The previous 2 years, we did 1 week. This year, we say, hey, you know what, man? These kids have been good to us. The parents have been good to us. Let's give them some more. They've been asking for more, so we said we're going to make it 2 weeks this year. And along with that, throw on some field trips. Started off, I got my boy Savage, who was on air with us a couple of shows ago. He's the head coach. He's only Loudoun County Coach of the Year, so I had to have him in the area. I had to support the area and have him as my coach. He's been phenomenal. The 2 days that I spent there, he's been great, man. The kids have been wild about what he's been, having them go through, and just the experience alone. I've been down this road before using coaches and stuff, but just to have him, his input, me and him, chiming in together and working together, it's been great. But besides that, man, I had to fly out last night to come out here to Orlando to see my son run. He had to track me here at the ESPN Wild World of Sports. Him and his track team, South Dade Express, is out here competing, man, and there's some pretty good talent from all over the world. So, and his birthday is coming up this week also, so I want to be with him and the family, for this week. Along with everything I have going on, I'm going to get back to it, but right now, I think he was the most important, so that's why I'm here.
No doubt. Happy pre-birthday to Savion, but happy birthday to your pops, right? Is today his birthday?
Yes. Smoke. Happy birthday. I shared with you offset my dad's birthday. I chimed in with him earlier this morning and giving him a happy birthday, and he wanted me to wish my homeboy a happy birthday, and Andre, and I text Andre and said happy birthday to Andre, and he wanted me to wish my dad a happy birthday. So, yeah, man, this summer is full of birthdays for me. You already know, June, I was back and forth from Miami to D.C. because of my birthday, my kid's birthday, everybody, birthdays and throughout the summer. My whole house is June, It's like crazy. And then you got my, Savion is in July. Santana, he starts the summer off. He pre-summer. He starts it off in May. So the whole house is just full with birthdays. But my dad's birthday today, Savion's on Sunday. It's just full with birthdays, man. We have a good time in summer. That's why I love the summer, because I know that I have so much in store because of everything that's going on.
All right, Tana, let me speak for fanboys everywhere out there. You just said my boy Andre's birthday. Can you be more specific, please? Because you're only talking about Andre Johnson, one of the greatest wide receivers of all time.
Yeah, man. I didn't say Andre Johnson because speaking in my terms is Andre to me. But yeah, Andre, man, Johnson. If I have to give him his last name, I hate giving people governments out. I hate someone calling me Santana Moss. But yeah, man, Andre Johnson. It's crazy that you just talked about him and Finnegan, because we was just talking about that a couple of days ago. How Andre is one of those guys, real smooth dude, soft spoken, the nicest dude on earth. I mean, honestly, if you ever said I was a nice guy, nah, that's the nicest guy I know. And to see him erupt like that in the middle of a game and do what he did to Finnegan, I felt sorry for Cortland. I felt sorry for him because I just knew that at the end of the day, Andre from the crib, he from Miami, and at the end of the day, if we ain't starting it, we know how to finish it, and that's what he did. He showed you that, hey man, I'm only gonna take it so long, and if I can't take it no more, I'm gonna give you these paws, and that's what he did, put paws on my man. So, but yeah, it's his birthday as well with my dad, so it was just one of those things that it's a ritual because I'm always hitting my dad up and hitting Andre, and both of those guys were thinking about each other as well.
Yeah, off camera, I was telling Tana when he told me it was Andre Johnson's birthday that please thank Andre for beating Cortland Finnegan's ass, because it was such a memorable ass whooping. So I appreciate it. And tell AJ to watch the show too, Tana. I know all your boys support the show. Oh, matter of fact, let me tell you a quick story. I'm going to take you on an off-ramp real quick. So Jason Campbell was in studio at NBC Sports Washington earlier this week, right? And I walked up to him. Now, I've obviously heard stories about him. I think I FaceTimed him once with Schuster, but I've never actually met him, right? So I walked up to him.
Lionel Richie.
Lionel Richie. I walked up to him. I said, hey, man, good to meet you, Travis Thomas. He's like, man, I know who you are. I feel like I already know you. You guys do a great job on the show. So I was like, oh, you definitely coming on, because I need you to defend this Hacksaw Jim Duggan draws story anyway. And he just died laughing. Yo, he lost.
He already know. He know, man. He can't do nothing. He can't defend that. All he can do is take it out. That's an L right there. You hear me?
All he said was Smoot. All he said was Smoot's crazy, man. Smoot's crazy.
That's an L, man. He can't do nothing about that.
Hey, Tana, leading up to training camp, we always do our position spotlight, right? So we've done running backs. We're going to do quarterbacks ad nauseum. But I want to do defensive backs. Tana, outside of Josh Norman, I mean, listen, you have Rogers Cromartie, you have Dunbar, you have Moreau. As you kind of see the depth chart working itself out, break that down for me at corner.
Well, it's pretty easy. I mean, I think one of the things I look at coming into this year, it's all about the health, of any year you get a chance to put everything what you did last year behind you. And as a Washington Redskins, I'm pretty sure the whole organization is saying, hey, you know what? We get to start fresh. We get to put all those injuries behind us for the guys that don't make it back, like Alex Smith and all those guys. You know what? We have guys to replace them for right now, but everybody else should have a clean bill of health. And coming to any season, that's why everybody's goal is the same, championship, because we have a full team, everybody's healthy, everybody raving, and everybody ready to go play. When you talk about the cornerback position, to me, I thought that was the weakest spot on the field last year on the defensive side because of the bodies. You had Norman, you had Dunbar, which was just, given that nod to be the guy, and then he went down, and then behind him, you had no one. So coming to this season already, I feel like we on a high because you have Norman coming back off one of his better years. You have a Dunbar, to me, who I think is by far the best man-to-man cover on the team. And then behind that, you have a veteran and Dominique, or Cromartie, Rogers Cromartie, that's coming in, 12 years? This will be his 12th year this year. 30+ interceptions. He's always been the guy that if you call on him, he can get the job done. He plays in the slot. He plays in the outside. He can run from days. He's a Florida boy. You know I got to give him props for that. But behind that, that's where it drops off at. You like who's going to be the guy, and you can throw names out there. I know we have Monte and all those other guys. Far as safeties and all that, you can throw names, but the cornerback position, you really have to just cross your fingers and hope those top three guys can really hold it down the entire year, because it's really no guy out there that you can say besides that. I talk about one of the guys that came in the draft that I'm happy we got. Moreland, he's a guy that I feel like he can go out there and do some things, and he's probably going to be put on the task to go out there and do it, because you really don't have no other guy that's going to probably be the guy that say, hey, this is my job, or I'm going to be the for show number 2, or the for show number, whoever, when it's time for me to be, given that nod.
Tana, I want to preface my comment by saying no one could guard you. However, I'm not looking for names here, because I think you've even told me Terrence Newman before, but what makes a great corner? Like, for you, just give me the characteristics of a corner that gave you trouble back in the day.
What I always tell guys, and don't get me wrong, this is not nothing against the corners that I faced and all that, but I always tell guys that I had my toughest times when I played against great defenses. You know what I mean? Guys who played on defenses that was exceptionally well. The corner, you could be nowhere. He could be a nameless guy, and I was going to have a tough time. If you had a good front seven, then I was going to be handled, by your corner, because if they can't get the ball off, it don't matter how many times I beat the guy. You know what I mean? It's just not going to be a good day for me. But the one corner that stands out, and trust me, I faced Woodson in his prime. That's Charles Woodson in his prime. I had, Champ Bailey in his prime, and all those guys was tough. But I did what I did. Champ Bailey, I was young when I faced him, and I probably went against him once or twice because I wasn't a starter at the time. But besides him, the only guy that I say that after facing him, and I didn't have to see him on a regular, that caused me, like, made me work for my money, was Revis. I remember the day vividly. 2007, I finally got a chance to go back to New York to play the Jets, my old team. That's my first time being, in New York playing them. I go to New York every year to play the Giants, but that was my first time back home considerably to play my old team. And it's a kid, Revis. Going to the game, I knew nothing about him because at that time I wasn't watching film. It was still early in my career that I didn't watch guys. I watched film as a whole on what we have to do offensively and what to see the defense, but I never broke down individual guys that was facing me because, one, I didn't want to see what he did good. Two, I didn't care about what he did good. And three, I was always psyching myself out to say, look, man, it don't really matter. Have my stuff together, go out there and beat the guy. I went out there and I came from that game like, man, I worked for my money today. Who was that dude? I go Google him, and I think it was Google at the time. And I'm like, Revis, who is this guy? Look him up, all world coming out of college. I talked to my homeboy, Bo, which is a cornerback. And, being that we best friends since high school, we always talk football, and I'm a defensive-minded guy. He's a defensive guy. And I say, man, I just caught hell against this guy, Revis. And he said, oh, yeah, bro, I should have told you. He was, to me, by far the best cornerback coming out of college this year, blah, blah, blah. He was a rookie at the time. I said, I worked hard for them 60 or 70 yards that I got. And it was just funny that to see him blow up, like right after that game, you heard nothing but Revis, 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 Revis. So I felt good by coming home and recognizing him and being able to tell other folks that he was one of my hardest guys I ever faced. And to see him blow up, it was no wonder because he was that guy. I saw that from my experience alone.
To you, was that his physicality? Was it his speed? In other words, what were the characteristics that made him special?
Technique, sound. He was a guy that someone told him to stay level, stay in front of a guy, regardless of how fast he is. Use your technique, use your hands. You can slow guys down like myself if you just stay technique sound and don't get scared of the speed. He was fearless, and he couldn't run with everybody, but he knew how to gauge and cut you off at right spots to know that regardless of how fast you were, I'm gonna beat you to your spot by being technique sound. And when you have a guy that's that fundamentally sound, and then he's strong, and then he's great, with his feet, and then he has hand-and-eye coordination. He can go out there and pick the ball when the ball is in the air. You got a tough job ahead of yourself. So to be able to have some success against a guy like that, any receiver who did, and I'm not talking about in those later years when he was just not himself. Everybody kind of fall off the cliff sooner or later. And even when he fell off, he wasn't quite all the way off. He just wasn't the Revis of locking people down man to man. He had to play the defense accordingly. But it was just one of those things, man. When I watched that kid after that, every week I would watch him because now I'm a fan. I'm like, man, I'm gonna pay attention to this Revis guy because now he has an island named after himself. He just fundamentally sound. You have guys like a D Hall that can run with everybody, and you would be more concerned. You would think you'd be more concerned about a guy like that because he can run and he's technique sound and he's smart and he's a ball hawk. You think that you'll fear a D Hall before you feel a Revis, but Revis was one of those guys that it just seemed like by far that he was doing things that the other DBs wasn't doing. It was almost on the stage of Deion Sanders when you watch Deion in his prime. And as a kid, when I paid attention to Deion, the thing that made Deion, he was flashy with it, and he was, backing up everything he spoke on. Reeves barely said anything, but guess what? He was out there on that island by himself. You'll see teams was like, okay, we're gonna double this guy over here and leave him over there, and he would get the job done. So that what I noticed about him, and then just watching him week after week, I was one of those receivers that, man, always prepare myself for the next time I might see him. Didn't know when the Jets was gonna be on our schedule again, but I'm like, when I see this guy again, I got to come with something better because in his rookie year, it was tough getting 60 and 70 yards against him.
That's crazy. Tana, last thing on DBs. Josh Norman said that he ran with the Bulls this offseason.
Yeah. I saw that thing just pop up on my phone, and I swiped it real quick. I don't want to be thinking about this man riding no Bulls, man. Lord have mercy, man. There's so much else to be worried about right now. But look, hey, I don't knock it. At the end of the day, like I said, one of the things I do is I find time to do any and everything that I want to do. That's one of the things you have to do about, in your off season. You have to enjoy it. But I say running with the Bulls is almost like one of those things on that that contract we signed.
Right.
That if you so happen something that's not pertaining to football and you get hurt in it, we get to take some of your fetty. And I don't want nobody taking none of my fettuccine away because I'm just that about my money. So I'm glad he's in one piece. I'm hoping that he can make it back with no holes nowhere from them horns, and he didn't get stampeded over, by no bull or by nobody else. If he did it and he succeeded and, whatever, that was one of those things, bucket list things, cross it off and get back to football.
Only thing I'm running is bullshit. Oh,
on 3. Break.
Hello, ready, break. Tana, Kawhi Leonard with the Clippers, and he went and snatched PG-13 straight from Russell Westbrook. That felt like pimping to me.
Yeah, it was pimping on an all-time high. Honestly, it was pimping to the point to where that I wasn't even tripping about it because, I love seeing other guys do what everybody blamed LeBron for doing. You know what I'm saying? I was going to get to this. I know you knew that I was going to let this thing just be about Kawhi. So when I saw it done, I gave it a golf clap. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? Now, what you got to say? And I sat there and put my hand on my every morning I'm watching, Get Up and all those guys. What you got to say? What we going to talk about today? So we're not going to talk about Kawhi just going out there and say, I can't do it by myself. I know y'all saw me just do it, but, it was tough. Let me go get somebody else to go do this because I ain't finna do this again by myself. And I applaud him, trust me, from the season alone that Kawhi Leonard had, from the grind, the way he grinded out each and every game, the way he found, we spoke about this earlier, in one of the podcasts about he almost played on the level of MJ. You thought you saw MJ all over again in Kawhi Leonard's game, the way he just wasn't himself. He was hobbled at times, but he made plays. He went out there and did things that other guys couldn't do. What's up, baby?
Who's that, Sagey?
Okay, baby, on the show. Sagey want to be on the show, so I had to stop a little bit. But just the things that he did, it made you almost say, this is what MJ went through. Yeah. And he had enough guys that say, you know what, if I can't make that shot, I'm going to give it to the next guy and let him do it. And we saw that in so many, guys that he gave the ball to. But to see him get a chance to say, okay, now I'm a free agent, we spoke about this. You say, Tanner, where you think he going? You think he going with LeBron? No, he's not going with LeBron. He's not that kind of guy. He don't want to team up with the it guy. He going to get a guy that's next to the it guy or probably third by the it guy and say, you know what, I'm going to go make him the it guy and bring him with me. And that's what he did when he got PG. And I just laughed about it because I said it was funny because people get on LeBron so much about, oh, you went to go play with Wade. You went to go play with, the guy who looked like a raptor. What his name is?
You talking about AD?
When he was in Miami, it was
Chris
D-Wade, LeBron,
Bosh.
and Chris Bosh. He was in Toronto at one time. He looked just like the damn mascot. But I hate them brain freezes. They come to me all the time. But I know the guy name, and I just couldn't think of it. But I said who he looked like.
He does
But
look like
you know
a
what I'm saying?
raptor.
They hated LeBron for that. And then they say, okay, when he comes back, he won. Oh yeah, but they don't give him no credit for that. So just to see Kawhi go get it the way he did it, you tip your hat off to him. But to see now, look, you can get PG, you can get somebody else. They ain't win no championship. I'm just gonna put that out there like that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't win no championship in the West with that crap. And if they do, then we can go back to this show and say, well, Tana, put your foot where your mouth at, and I will find a shoe that's clean enough to put it in my mouth. Because I just feel like regardless, that West is a little different. And if it ain't the Lakers, Golden State might be back in contentions again. You never know. Them Splash Brothers get going, they can do it all over again. But I just like to see what he's did. I love seeing Kawhi go out there and get someone else, but I'm glad that they took it the way they took it. It was light to them. It wasn't no big deal. But when LeBron do stuff, everybody got they britches in their behind because they don't know how to act because it's LeBron, I guess. You feel me?
I'm not going to lie. I haven't heard anything you said after Chris Bosh looks like a raptor.
I hope it wasn't a connection.
I never pull this diva moment, but I swear, producer Rob, you have got to show a picture of Chris Bosh, but also the video of Chris Bosh pouring the champagne over him when the Heat won the title. It's just going to be pure comedy. You got to trust me on that. Tana, what do you think about the Women's World Cup? USA held it down, got it done.
I mean, making it in the crew, they showed you what being an American is all about. Representing the U.S. like they should have. I found it, it was so much gratitude. I took so much gratitude from them because just to see that these girls was in the spotlight every game. Before the games even started, before the matches even started, they was the most talked about. And to me, I tell you time and time again why I became a LeBron James fan, and I'm going back to him because I find it hard as an athlete to come in any situation knowing that you're the guy and be able to block out all that noise and go out there and still put on a great performance and be that guy, for so long. LeBron has done it for so long. The U.S. Women's soccer team, they went out there and handled their stuff, and they caught a lot of flack on things that they did. They celebrate, they too cocky. They won it off a lot of penalty kicks too. At that, that's not easy. People look at him like, well, they won one match. It was 2-1. I think both of those kicks was penalty kicks, and they think that's a chip in the ballpark. No, it's not. You can't go out there and just say, I'm going to make this. It's one of the toughest shots. It's almost like being that kicker, having to win that game, win that Super Bowl, with your field goal. It's that tough. So to see what they did, I salute them. I love the swag. The women showed you that, wow, we should pay more attention to what they're doing in all sports. Basketball, soccer, you name it, lacrosse, whatever women is doing, we should pay attention to them because I feel that it's already tough being them. For one, they endure so much and still have to be a woman and hold it down. Us men, man, we got it easy. We gifted to have someone to hold the house down for us. One, to take care of the kids when we're not around. Two, and we go out there and get big bucks to do what we did as kids. You know what I mean? So to see these women now in the spotlight like they are, to see what they've been fighting for, to see what they went out there and accomplished, you have to salute them, man. And I know it feels great to be them because they represent the U.S. well.
All right, Tanner, for taking L's, I'm going to the Espys. Here's why. I know for a fact neither one of us watch a second of that show. So you get the L for that, right? But also, Tana, I go on Twitter this morning. Everyone is ripping Tracy Morgan, saying his jokes weren't funny and blah, blah, blah. And then I saw a picture of your boy on the red carpet, Odell Beckham Jr. Santana Moss, he looked like a kangaroo with that outfit he had on.
Yeah, he wasn't hopping nowhere. He wasn't popping either. I mean, but you know what, man? That's fashion for you. That's fashion at its best. You know what I mean? Like I'm looking at my phone right now, and I'm checking him out. That's OBJ, man. I mean, he got the tats out on the leg. He got his shorts. You know, that's fashion, bro. Like he can go anywhere else, and that would be like, man, did you see that? Like he can go to Europe right now, and somebody's making that in another color because they want to do it. They want to jock it next. But like I said before, it looked like a Browns ball boy uniform. I thought he had a Browns logo on the side on that left chest plate, but that's OBJ. You know what I mean? He gets the L because we don't like it, but guess what? He might be whoever designed that. It might be somebody with big bucks and they paid him to wear it. So, you know, that's, you know, nature of the beast right there. You know, he's a guy, he's not winning nothing for free. He's on that scale where he can take L's by us. But man, them L's, he ain't taking no L's in that bank account. Believe that.
You're right about that, but he could take that fashion back to Europe because that's ugly, Ted. I don't give a damn.
Oh, boy.
Hey,
you ain't lying.
By the way, man, can you do me a favor, bro? Can you please, whether you got to text them or call them or send me the numbers over. I've seen some pictures from your camp from this week. I've seen Bub out there coaching kids. I've seen Stu out there coaching kids. Can you please give them boys love from me, man, and let them know I appreciate their help, man?
Yeah, they on a field trip right now. They went to the African American museum. I believe that's what it's called. It's wonderful, man, to have people that support what you're doing, and when you have to step away and tend to your family, to be there for you, man. So it's good. That's what Friends about, and that's what, you know, my foundation is about. You know, 89 ways to give. Give something. You know what I'm saying? It's not all about giving that money. It's about giving your time. And for the 2 days I was there this week, it was one of the best camp experiences I've experienced. Coach Savage, I want to give him another shout out on this show because if you haven't heard about him, come to Loudoun County. Bring your kids to Loudoun County to be trained by this guy. He's training the Washington Redskins guys for a reason because he's that guy. And I paid attention to him. You know, the Chef Tobias, who we got to get on the show. You know, Chef TD. We talk about him so much, and he's blown up now. He's on, you know, Food Network and everything else, and he always throwing my name out there about being one of the first guys to notice him on Instagram. Same thing with Savage. I noticed him on Instagram, and, you know, kudos to social media. That's where we at now in this day and age when it comes to how we can connect with folks. And I told Savage we can do this for a long time, you know, and I will put what I have to put up to have a coach like that to be a brand, or be on my brand, because, you know, that's what I believe in, giving them kids something more than what we giving them. And he's been so great. So to have those guys, I hope those guys have a good time down there on a field trip. And I'm looking forward to getting back to next week.
No doubt, man. I got to give you props because you've played for teams your entire life. And honestly, now that your playing days are over, your team, your inner circle is strong, man. You keep a strong team around you. I'm honored to be a part of it, bro, to be honest.
You ain't nothing without your homeboys and your team. So I'm glad to have somebody to support me. So it's great, man. It's the future's bright. You know what I mean? If you don't feel that way, then why live? You know what I'm saying? So that's why I do. I grind because I believe in everything that's going to come down the line. And I don't know what's coming. You know what I'm saying? But I know it's going to be bright because I put the work in. So whatever comes my way, man, it can't be nothing but, you know, light ahead of myself. And it's things that like that make me look forward to, you know, doing what I do every day, because I know that I'm setting bars and I'm setting, you know, the level high for the ones that's behind me and my kids alone. You know what I mean? I want them to see why daddy still work, why daddy still not home every day in Miami, because I'm somewhere I'm making sure that they got that bread on their table. They ain't got to worry about that roof over their head. They got always rest assured that I'm going to do something to make theirs easy. You feel me?
No doubt. The future is bright. I agree with you. I just want to go ahead before we end the show, while we're on record, and make my role defined. I want to be the hype man on the team. I am Flavor Flav.
Hey, you could be my hype man any day, man. Hey, believe you me. That's why we together now. We ain't doing this show for no reason. You could be mine any day.
Bring them out. Santana Mall Show podcast.
I had an eye for talent, man, and
No doubt.
you was recruited by me personally. So, hey, they'll believe me sooner or later.
Yeah.
Trust me.
No, it'll take some time. I grow on people, you know? I'm like a wart. I think we could end it there. Santana Mall Show podcast. Peace.
It's a Santana Mall Show. Number 89, hustle all the time. Travis on the right, hot mic on the left. Every single week, it's